We've unfortunately been hearing a lot about the wave of terror in Israel and the destruction it leaves. But have you ever stopped to wonder what happens after a terror attack? If you're in one, who's coming to help? Or if you hear about a search and rescue operation on the news, who's out there looking? Zaka is Israel's primary volunteer rescue and response agency, and they're often some of the first to arrive at the scene of a terror attack. Not only that, but they also have a specialized search and rescue unit. David Rose is Zaka's international director, and he's here with us today. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having us today.
So first of all, what is Zaka?
Very good question. Why was Zaka started up? It's the history of Zaka is related a bit to terror. Started of an interesting date on 6 of July 1989 when a bus was turned over on the highway up to Jerusalem. The first time in Israel there was a suicide attack on civilians where terrorists jumped on a bus driver, forced him off the road. 16 people were killed in that incident. That was the first time the civilians came and tried to help out, led by Yehuda Meshizav, the founder of Zaka. At the time, they were trying to help, but then most probably they were interfering. But then they realized at the time that there's a need to set up a volunteer organization to help with dealing with the bodies, people who were killed, bring them aftermath victims, what you're going to do with them, how to clean up a scene. And that's where Zaka was brought to the scene. And volunteers today, we're talking about over 3,000 volunteers in Israel, over 600 volunteers across the world that go out and do this special work of Zaka that many people will run away from the scene, where Zaka is one running into the scene and often first to arrive, but always last to leave to deal with these unfortunate situations, especially today in terror attacks, but not only in terror attacks. Any unnatural death in Israel, Zaka is there dealing. If we heard about car accidents that took place in Israel, in suicides, murders, any type of unnatural death, Zaka is there and the volunteer organization dealing in the most professional way and respecting way of the dealing of cleaning up the scene, dealing with bodies, body parts, etc. Stuff that is not easy to look at, but yet someone has to do this job, and we're there to do this job, and it's a service that we're proud to do. Proud to represent the Jewish people in this type of work that we do.
Absolutely. And how is what you do especially important in Judaism? What is the significance with this?
Okay, in Judaism, first of all, say about Zaka, there's two parts to it. One is the religious aspect. Yes, it's very important in the Jewish law, halakha, to become and pick up everything that's be brought to burial. And that's where you see us kneeling down on our knees and hands and picking up and going through and picking up tissue, but whatever it is, we're there. But after doing this work for many years, over 25 years of this kind of work, we realized that there's much more important message for the families. Knowing that someone is there dealing and not with picking it up, not just coming over with a hose and washing it all down and just wasting it away. Knowing that someone was there dealing with it in an honorable way, respectful way, and taking care of every little piece that person will be brought complete for burial. For the family, it's a very important message, and for them, for the closure, knowing that we have somewhere to go to for a grave and for burial, as we found in a psychological way for the family, it helps them a lot in their mourning and grief.
Absolutely. This sounds like a really difficult job, and you said it's volunteers with your organization. How do they deal with the trauma that they're seeing? Okay,
it is a difficult job to be done. Trauma is, we need to deal with it, and we have workshops within Zaka, especially after major events that took place. If it's a few weeks ago, there was a bus accident on Highway number 1, or what happened in Jerusalem, the incidents that be going on in Jerusalem is with terror attacks. We bring our volunteers together. We have with them workshops with social workers, with psychological help. Each one is asked to speak up what he does, what did he see, how did he manage, and we have people monitoring and looking to see, making sure that there is no post-trauma effect. One of the ways we deal with it is we see that singing together, like singing Jewish songs, whatever, that brings a way of volunteers getting together, feeling together the pain, and yet knowing that we are human, and what we see is painful, but yet we have a mission to be done. And it's very important to know that we can continue going as much as it's hard to do this kind of work, but yet we have the strength within us to continue that work.
Absolutely, and it sounds like incredibly important work. I want to kind of turn the tone to something a little bit different. I heard that you recently were recognized by the UN.
Right.
What does that mean for Zaka?
Okay, first of all, it's not just for zaka, it's for the state of Israel, for the Jewish people, that the UN recognized us as a NGO that is able to give advice to the UN, but also more important is to go out to events around the world. We've been doing that all these years already. We've been recently to Nepal after the earthquake that took place over there. We're in Haiti, an earthquake that took place in Haiti. In the tsunami in Thailand 10 years ago, we had a team over there working. In the tsunami in Japan. All these places, Zaka has a lot to bring to the table, bring the experience that we have as a volunteer organization dealing with the scenes that we know what they're dealing with, and coming there. The beauty about Zaka is that we are speedy on our coming to the scene. Even wherever it is around the world, within a couple of days, we're there already on the scene, helping out the civilian population, helping them out if it's recovering bodies from a building site, or even more importantly, is trying to save people's lives. And we had that in Haiti when we came to university over there, and we had a few students were trapped. We were there within 3 days, and we pulled out a few people alive, and that was because we got there within a few days. And that's important about Zaka. And having this UN recognition allows us now to go into countries and giving this umbrella of the UN, it's an easier access for us into international scenes, international disasters that we can help out, bringing what we have as experience, volunteer organization to the table.
Wow, and it sounds like incredibly important work what you're doing. Now, also, I want to ask, I see that you're raising money for 5 new ambulances.
Right.
Also, for people who are listening and they want to get involved with Zaka, either donating or volunteering, how can they go about doing that?
Right. So this come about what's going on today. We have a fleet of ambulances. Some of them are quite old, over 12 years on the road, and it's time for us to change these ambulances. It's a multi-purpose vehicle. It's not just for coming there. We have defibrillator on it and life-saving equipment, but on it is also other equipment that we need for cleaning up a scene. It's like a station area for the volunteers to come and take equipment out. And we have now the opportunity where we have donors from around the world matching donations for us. So for every dollar that someone makes a donation in the next 8 days, that will make a difference. That will double the donation.
Wow.
So we are holding today by $365,000 we raised. We need to raise another 150 in order to get the matching funds. We have 8 days to go. The idea is to give new ambulances to Jerusalem, 2 over there, to Gush Etzion, to Haifa, and to Rehovot. Those areas need us, and they appreciate the work that we're doing. And it's a matter of us coming there as fast as possible with this kind of ambulance to save a life if possible, and then to stay on to do the recovery work that Zaka does. Anyone who wants to go to our website, to go to zaka.us, to the general information about Zaka, or there's a website especially for this campaign. It's causematch/project/Zaka. That's ZAKA for Zaka, and you can all go over there and you'll get full information about what Zaka does and how you can help us out.
Well, thank you so much, and I hope everyone watching this is inspired to donate.
Thank you very much for having us, and I hope it goes well.
Definitely.